So, Brooks, did you watch last night's game, Bills Dolphins?
I'm surprised the Dolphins even kept it close for that long.
Dude, I am as well. I don't think anyone really expected that. It's kind of brutal, but we'll get into it. But yeah, let's jump right into it.
Welcome to the greatest podcast on earth. Nothing agreed. We have a great show for you tonight, so stay tuned and buckle up.
Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the boys. Today, we are on to week 3 officially here on a Friday after Thursday night's football game.
That's
B-Dub,
right. That's
I,
right.
I, I, I got to question you a little bit. Those Dolphins hung around a little bit. Those
They
Dolphins hung
did.
around.
They did. Now, before we jump into it, how much does that say about their offense opposed to the Bills' defense? We know that Bills' defense let up a lot of points to the Ravens. Granted, the Ravens are the Ravens, but
Ravens are the Ravens.
that defense looked pretty good against the Jets. So I would honestly say this game speaks most about the Dolphins' offense. I think it looked good for most of the game up until it wasn't. But I mean, yeah, I think it really proves that Mike McDaniel's he's a great offensive mind. He's gonna do what he does best and put his best players in positions to get the ball and win games. I mean, Jalen Waddle was getting the ball, Tyreek Hill was getting the ball. They couldn't really get a run game going, at least not that effective from what I saw at least. So it was good that they were able to pass the ball. But yeah, Dolphins defense. And we'll see. We'll see how
Uh,
long Tua stays this consistent for. We know he usually drops off come October time, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that offense only goes as far as he takes them.
and that I was going to say that it's where he takes them, and I don't think he's going to take them that far. Um, I really want to criticize the Bills because that Dolphins defense, even though they held the Bills to, you could say 31 points, you
Hmm.
can talk about praises to maybe for 34, but whatever. It felt like there was too many gifts being given away for the Bills to only come with 21 points
Yeah.
near the middle of the fourth quarter. It felt so weird. Like it really felt like James Cook was the greatest running back in that game since week 1, Derrick Henry,
Yeah.
and it really felt like that was going to be a clean game for the Bills, and then all of a sudden, here comes Miami with that touchdown to Tyreek to tie it up. I mean, they opened the scoring too, so
Yeah.
shout out the Dolphins, low key. Shout them out because I did not expect them to be anywhere near this game, and I was rooting for them because of Survivor because I didn't pick them. So yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. No. Like I said, Mike McDaniel still clearly knows what he's doing when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, and hopefully, I mean, he's gonna get him. He's gonna stay employed if the Dolphins decide his tenure with that team is over. Hopefully, my team picks him up because we are in need of an offensive play caller. And that would probably be game over for everyone. But yeah, let's talk about the Bills' offense briefly. Yeah, like you said, they looked good. They seem to have really found their identity in being a run-first team this year, which is
Hmm.
good. That's what successful teams do. You look at the Eagles last year, you look at the Ravens from last year and this year. You look at the Falcons almost with Bijan Robinson, although they don't run the ball as heavy as these other two teams, but the ball goes through Bijan Robinson, whether that's the screen game or a
Oh no,
handoff.
I mean the Falcons are a run first team,
Okay,
so
well then there
they
you
run the
have it,
ball
ladies
heavy.
and
But
gentlemen.
you're right. The usage rate is high for
I was gonna say it
Bijan.
might not always be a run, but it's a screen pass or a
Oh
toss
yeah.
out or RPO or something. But you see a lot of these teams that have these premier backs that sort of move towards this run first offense, and we're only going to put the ball in harm's way when it needs to be or when the defense isn't ready for it. So it's good for them. I feel like after it's always been sort of a pass first with Josh Allen, and then if they need to extend the play, he's going to make it with his legs. So seems to be there's going to be a shift in Buffalo. We'll see if that puts them over the hump this year because there's any time for an AFC team to go to the Super Bowl, Brooks, right now looks like the time.
I mean, you said it best. I was gonna make that my next point is if you're gonna make a run, we'll have to see what Week 10 looks like, Week 11, specifically because the Chiefs are gonna get some of their weapons back. But
Mm-hmm.
this isn't the Kansas City dominated AFC anymore. This is
True.
now an opening that I think it's an opening where either the Ravens fans or Bills fans are going to be disappointed, or both. Somebody else could sneak in and do the job that they couldn't.
Is that
So yeah,
Chargers?
Chargers is a good option,
We'll
but
see. I
I
mean, we'll
still
see if
think
the
the one A
Colts.
one B.
We'll see if the Colts can keep up this success against competitive
No,
teams.
no, 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 no.
I'm just
It's
saying.
it's a good story, but to say that the Colts aren't the same level as the Ravens and Bills, in my opinion, that's
I'm
a
not.
one A one B.
I'm not saying they
But
are, but we've seen
uh,
not as good teams
we've
get
seen
hot.
worse teams.
We've
Yep.
seen this is a young team. They play well together. They seem to play for each other in that locker room. It seems to be like it's
The
a
Colts?
yeah. It seems to be a
I
nice.
wouldn't say the Colts are a young team.
I mean, in the sense that like, so they're key, like not key, but a lot of their like playmakers are young, like their receivers. Besides what's his name, Pittman. You look at the defensive side of the ball; they've got some young guys in the linebacker and in the secondary. And again, now they're not one of the NFL's youngest teams, but it's certainly not the oldest. As he's
Yeah,
looking up
I wouldn't.
average age, so it probably will
Oh
be.
yeah,
But regardless of the age, it seems like they play well together. They play for each other. They seem to have bought into whatever the coaching system or the coaching staff's trying to instill into them. And I mean, we've seen teams like that go on hot runs, and especially with the Chiefs, assuming they're going to be out of the picture this playoff run. I mean, we know what Lamar does in big game situations. He tends to choke. Josh Allen really hasn't given us a reason to think that he's going to lose his team a game in a big playoff moment. But I mean, he doesn't have great playoff success. Granted, he runs into Patrick Mahomes every year. So, I mean, granted, while this year feels like it's wide open for these guys, and I mean, probably not the Bengals, but so we'll throw the Chargers in there for this year, I guess. They still have it. I mean, Justin Herbert's playoff resume, he hasn't played Mahomes once in the playoffs, and it is probably the worst out of all of these quarterbacks I've named. So, I mean, none of these guys have proven yet that they can get it done when they aren't or when they're playing Mahomes. So we just have to kind of wait and see, in my opinion.
yeah. I was checking the Colts age, like you said, and it's pretty interesting. None of
It's
them
like
are
probably
super
like right in
young,
the middle, isn't it?
but it's like 26, 27.
Yeah.
Like these guys have been in the league for 5 years, but it's no like veterans who are 32, 33 getting
Right.
the job done. Of course, Tyler Warren being the rookie on that offense. Jonathan Taylor being only 26 surprises me because it feels like he's been in the league for
He's young though.
10 years.
Well, he took the
Um,
league. His like big breakout year is like his second league in the year or second year in the
yeah, it
league.
was 2021.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah, it's a good team, but the AFC picture is pretty interesting. I'm most interested to see who comes out of it right now, the AFC South, because it could be the Colts, could be the Jaguars. I don't know if the Texans are going to do it. I mean, they've had two close games against two good opponents, but the good teams were going to have to pull those one out and win. Like the Colts, you could say luckily, but at the end of the day, they pulled it out and they beat the Broncos.
yeah,
Um,
all
yeah,
credit to
so
him.
I still think this is a team that or these are some teams that can make some runs and do it. And then the AFC North, of course, we probably think the Ravens are going to go. We probably think that
That's their
out of the
division to
West right now,
lose.
maybe the Chargers. Agreed. The Bills, the AFC East. So it's cool to see what wild card teams can be there. But yeah,
Honestly, Brooks, through 3 weeks, the AFC South or the AFC North, West, and East all look like we know who those division winners are going to be. Maybe not the West.
but the
That one's
beauty,
probably a little more competitive,
what's
but
that?
I would say the AFC South is definitely the most competitive on that side of the league.
Hmm. I
Because
agree.
I think everyone
It's
assumes
most superstar teams.
I think everyone
So
assumes the Ravens are going to win with Joe Burrow being down and the Steelers looking how they look. I think everyone assumes the Bills are going to win with how all those young teams look, for better or worse. I just don't think anyone. I was high on the Patriots coming into the season. I still think they could be a wild card team, but after what I've seen through the first 3 weeks, unless something changes drastically for both teams, I don't think they're beating the Bills for this division. And we already
I
know
don't
how
think
we
they're
feel
beating
about the
Bills either.
Dolphins and Jets. So I could see maybe the
Exactly.
Broncos making a run at the Chargers. They're gonna have to change some things around. Their defense is not good right now after being the best in the league last year. And it's still the Chiefs, even though they're 0-2. So you can't ever really count them out. They could easily sneak in as a 6 or 7 after this. But I think thank you. At this point, I think it is the Chargers' division to lose. That's my
Yeah,
early.
it's still
That's
the
my early call.
Chargers division to lose because now they have. It just depends on their schedule. I know they play the Broncos this week, and if they can pull that one out at home, then you go to 3-0. You knock the Broncos, who are probably your biggest challenge other than the Chiefs. I don't think the Raiders are going to be that kind of team at all. I think that's your biggest challenge.
First 3 weeks are all divisional games. That's a crazy schedule.
It is crazy, but if they can they've knocked off the Chiefs, they've knocked off the Broncos and the Raiders, all 3 teams in the AFC West. They moved to 3-0, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to specifically talk about the Chiefs here. When they get their weapons back, let's say the Chiefs go 2-4 and you're 5-1. You have a 3-game advantage going into the next 11 games. So you really need and the Chiefs are going to still drop games. They're still going to drop some games. So you really need to have a blow up if that's going to happen.
Let's swing it over to
So,
the NFC real quick.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that
quickly,
playoff picture?
quickly, let's be honest here. The NFC West has 3 2-0 teams, but we all think that this is the Rams' division to lose.
Mm-hmm.
The NFC South has the Bucs at 2-0. The Bucs, this is their division to lose. You look at the NFC North, Vikings, Lions, Packers. Those are probably the 3 in it, but people don't have the faith in the Vikings, and I don't blame them.
I'm
It's
counting
just
them
the
out.
Packers and the Lions, and let's be honest, the way the Packers have looked, this is the Packers' division to lose. And then you look at the NFC East, this is the Eagles. So everyone knows who those jump are. That's why I said I love the AFC South, because
Mm-hmm.
although the Colts are 2-0, it's a story of can they keep that momentum with Daniel Jones going, or is there going to be someone else that can jump out because the Texans can jump out and the Jags can jump out?
Mm-hmm. I'd argue this, and we'll talk about it here in a minute, but this Rams-Eagles game is going to be a big indicator for how tough the NFC is going to be come playoff scheduling time, because I think a lot of people think the Rams can be a playoff contender, and if they can hold their own with the Eagles, that's certainly a strong indicator that, yeah, we can make a playoff push. I don't really think even though they got demolished, I don't think it's too crazy to say the Lions are completely out of it. I know they lost. I mean, they lost at Green Bay against their division rival, the Packers. Right when, I feel like, granted, we saw them play against the Packers and the Bears, and it was like night and day. But I think a lot of that's probably adjusting. I really hope the Eagles are going through similar phases right now, but figuring out new coordinators, new systems, new schemes, new plays, new players. I think a lot of that could have gone into effect of what happened to the Packers down in up in Green Bay. So I don't think it's I think we have to wait for that rematch. And again, if the Packers come into Detroit and beat the crap out of them again, then yeah, easily that's the Packers division. Lions aren't competing; they're gonna be fighting for a wild card. But I still think it's a little too early. After what I saw against the Bears, I thought, okay, maybe there's some adjusting pains in this Packers game. But we'll see. That Packers defense looks good. I don't think anyone could really argue that's probably the best in the league right now. So yeah, let's just jump into this week's games. How about that?
Falcons have the #1 fantasy defense.
There you go. Getting a lot of sacks, I would assume.
Yep.
Who do you feel
So
this week?
it's good. But let's like you said,
Let's
get into
you
this
also
week.
because you didn't let a team score a touchdown last week. That's probably another big reason.
Yeah, I don't know how many points our
Oh my
team
god!
gave up
You
week one.
get a freebie this week. All right, whatever. Let's jump into it.
We don't get no freebie this week.
Yeah, you do. All right. I think this is the premier quarterback battle that everyone has been asking for all offseason, Brooks. This game right here. Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz.
Thank God. Wow. The quarterbacks have been – it feels like – was this 2 or 3 years ago when there was like 9 quarterbacks injured in like the first 2 or 3 weeks? This is, I think, like the exact same scenario. It's going to sound a little crazy, but I like the Vikings in this game.
Okay.
I really do.
I do as well.
Because I like them because not only are they playing with a person that has had one of the best, had a really good prime, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been there for the MVP award. has seen good vision, but he has good receivers around him, right?
Hmm.
And ultimately, what I like is that Carson Wentz, I think, can still make plays that Jake Browning cannot. And I think JJ McCarthy was somewhat holding this offense back.
Hmm.
And I think this offense can be unleashed with a veteran quarterback, like you said, with a win now quarterback last week.
Hmm.
I'm not all on that train, but I think with Carson Wentz, you're going to get the answer to your question. And I think he's going to perform well. And I think the Vikings are going to walk away from this one, beating the undefeated Bengals and moving to 2-1 in the NFC North.
Like you said, I fully agree with what you said, but there is another completely way this game could go, and that could just be Carson Wentz forgot how to play football.
Correct.
So we do have to expect that, but I also agree. And granted, this is probably just me being somewhat of a homer, but I do think Carson Wentz, like you said, he had that one really good season. Eagles would not have won that Super Bowl without him. And yeah, I think he very well still has enough in the tank. We know that what that offense is. There's weapons in place at every position. He doesn't have Jordan Addison back yet, but if he can get another week as a starter, he'll get him next week. But you've got arguably the best receiver in the NFL, and Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, and whoever's at running back. And we know there's a committee. Now that offensive line, while it's not great, it's not terrible. So you got some to work with. We'll see how mobile he still is, if he can pull off any Wentz magic. But I think
Mhm.
what this game ultimately comes down to is the defense. And I've sat up here in the offseason and claimed that this Bengals defense is worse than college football units. That is not the case, but they're still not that great. And I think the Vikings have it arguably a top 15, probably top 10 defense as of right now. Um, just going off of the games I've seen, I like all the guys they have around there. I like that. I like Brian Flores as the defensive play caller. And I think he's going to put Jake Browning in a lot more hell than whoever's calling defensive plays for the Bengals is going to have Carson Wentz in. But let me just say
Okay.
2 points. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, two of the league's best receivers, going up against each other, and they've got some bums throwing them the football. So NFL, I don't know how they feel about that. I'm sure that was not what they were hoping would be the case come this game, but that's the
I
reality.
think
And second of all,
crazy take.
it's
Crazy
time.
take. Let me jump on that. Let me jump on
Okay,
that.
let me hear that first.
I think this could be a perfect, okay, not perfect, but a somewhat favorable situation for some of these fantasy owners, especially
That
those with
too.
Justin Jefferson. But Jamar Chase, if you watch the game with Jake Browning, he was going a little bit everywhere. But when you have a backup quarterback playing a starter, what do they always tell you? Look for your guy. And Jamar and Justin are your guys. So I think they could get a lot more volume this week.
I agree. They're probably going to get a lot more targets. The question
Mhm.
is how many of those are going to be receptions. Fault of the
Look,
quarterback or fault of the receiver? We don't know yet, but we'll wait and see. Last point on this game. America. We finally get to see the Carson Wentz to Justin Jefferson connection. So let's see if it was as special as it once would have been. Now, let's move on. Next 1 o'clock game. Steelers Patriots.
I was talking with a Steelers fan, and he goes, we're going to lose this game. I was like, what? He's like, we're going to lose this game. We just never beat the Patriots. So now I feel like I just have to follow that logic and be the
Mm-hmm.
Steelers are never going to be the Patriots. But also, I kind of like the Patriots in this one, too. I think this is Drake May is coming off a good week. We know who they played, but Drake May is coming off a good week, and it's all about momentum building. And I think he can momentum build here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Cardi B Devil Magic with a baby is really going to bring the Pats some good luck.
We need a quick.
Travion Henderson breakout game.
I hope so. He's on my fantasy team. We need a quick sidebar though. That was crazy.
Hey, we're
That
not talking about personal lives here.
I'm just
Don't get
talking
into
about.
my
I'm
personal
not
life.
talking about what you saying. I'm talking about the news. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Weren't they? Yeah, yeah. We won't talk about that much.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
saw that in
I would
class.
never.
I almost lost it in class.
Yeah, I would never.
That's so
So
funny. Yeah, no, I agree with what you said. Mac Jones had a good game last week. Momentum's everything, and I think from what I've seen through 2 weeks, the Steelers defense looks like is a good unit to keep your momentum going on. I mean, they've been letting up so many points. Yeah, I like Mac Jones. I think he gets a little more confidence from this game. Um, we'll see what happens. He'll probably throw a pick or two. We know they've got some good guys in that secondary, but like you said, I think they get Travion Henderson rolling, get the run game moving. The Steelers have struggled with that this year. Yeah, and I think once you get them to load the box and make it easier for Mac Jones to get it to his guys, he's gonna get it there. Like he said, pregnancy devil magic. Here we go. Steelers offense. I'm not gonna believe in them until DK Metcalf can catch a ball. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's move on.
DK has no Christian Gonzalez this week.
That's true, but I mean, who's guarding him last week?
Probably like Tariq Woolen and other guys.
And he's not even that good. So
no, yeah. Seahawks secondary isn't that bad.
I mean, it's not terrible, but I saw Tariq Woolen get absolute cooked for 2 touchdowns. Like he messed up.
One week, big dog.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. It's
1 week.
Last week wasn't great either. Hit him in the hands. Like again, I'm a DK Metcalf fantasy owner. I watched that game. It hit him in the hands or the chest like 4 times, and that ball somehow hit the turf. So that's all I'm going to say. Colts Titans. Is the magic continuing, or is the rookie gonna have something to say? Okay, don't do that.
Titans low key. Titans low key might pull this one out.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm gonna ride the train.
I'm gonna take the Titans in this one. I'm gonna say they're gonna pull it out. I'm not picking it as my dog of the day in the future. I'll tell you that. But I'm taking the Titans in this one. I think they can pull this one out. I think it's one of those games where 2-0 and 0-2 come together, and the worlds just collide. And you go, how did that just happen? And that's my guess.
You know what? That alone convinced me.
Boom. There we go.
All right.
Cam Ward has been playing pretty well, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is the time where he grabs his first win
against the hot Colts.
Yep.
Indiana Jones. All right.
Yep.
Let's move on then. Texans Jaguars. This is ass versus ass.
Battle of please turn this TV off. That was bad. I want to take the Jags.
I think it's the safe pick here.
I'm gonna take the Jags.
In the jungle. In the jungle.
Yeah, in the jungle. Give me the Jags
or whatever they call it.
So I've been riding the Jags. Duval last 3 weeks. Well, this will be my 3rd week. So I'm gonna take the Duval.
I mean,
Jags.
they should be 2-0. They probably should have won last week if they didn't beat themselves.
And the panic button gets hit in Houston if they fall to 0-3.
I think it's already been hit, but yeah, it's definitely gonna start blaring if they fall to 0-3. All right, Rams Eagles.
Every week I'm probably gonna pick the Eagles. So give me the Eagles. They're at home. I might hammer the spread. It's only -3. I might hammer that low key. The only thing that scares me about the Eagles this game is Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. How is cornerback 2 going to hold up on either one of those receivers?
Adoree Jackson, the terrorist of Philadelphia. Yeah, whoever he's guarding is going to have a day. I don't think they follow receivers, so whoever lines up on his side of the field is going to be open. So it all comes down to how much time Matthew Stafford has in that pocket, and if our offensive coordinator figured something out. That's all it comes down to. If we can,
I think we can.
If we can run an efficient offense, we should win that game. If we can't scheme AJ Brown, Devontae Smith open, then I'm gonna hit the panic button. All right, moving on.
We can swiftly move forward. Yes.
Falcons, Panthers.
All I'm going to say is, I know you probably have nothing to say. You're going to pick the Falcons and move.
I mean, I told you this is a freebie.
All I'm going to say is, once or twice every year, the Falcons lose a game that they should not lose. And this is on the cards for a game they should not lose that they probably are going to lose. So I'm going to take the Falcons. But if they lose, just know that I was expecting it.
There you have it. And then when they win by 30, and he comes on here next episode talking about how they're going to the playoffs, everyone remember this.
We are going to the playoffs. Exactly right. If we win that game, we're going to the playoffs.
Winning the division, going to the playoffs.
Ooh, winning the division. Honestly, I could see it. I
mean, I could see it too, but let's calm down.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I can see it.
I mean, it could happen, but you're definitely going to have to win this game to stay even, because the Buccaneers also get a freebie. They get to host the Jets.
Hey. That is not a freebie in my
Yes, it
opinion.
is.
No, it's not. Tyrod Taylor is not a bad backup quarterback at all. He's made games very interesting the last couple of years. So I'm going to take the Bucks. I was thinking about taking them in my Survivor, but
Okay.
I'm not taking them in my Survivor. So I'm rooting for the Jets in this one, but I think the Bucks are going to clean them up.
I
But
would assume you're
it's
rooting
not a
for the
gimme. It's not a
Jets.
gimme. It's
I
not a
would.
gimme.
I'm gonna say it's a gimme. Jets look terrible, and Tyrod Taylor does not instill confidence in me. Raiders, Commanders. It's in Washington.
It's just the question: is Jaden Daniels going to play football? And I don't think he is. I think he's honestly going to miss this game. Um, that's just the way I see it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to remember exactly who their backup quarterback is.
Marcus Mariota.
Oh, Marcus Mariota. Oh my God, give me the Commanders. They're good. Marcus the goat. I can never betray my Falcons legend.
Yeah, I can portray my Eagles legend. Give me the Raiders. That's their game to lose. Commanders have not
That's the
looked.
game.
Commanders looked a little sloppy against the Giants, and that was with Jaden Daniels. They looked a little bit better against the Packers, but they still didn't look great. Now you're losing your best player. I'm gonna take the Raiders. Um,
Give
in
me
our
the Commanders.
in our last 1 o'clock game, an atomic bomb versus a coughing baby. Packers Browns.
Now I can't say this is a Atomic Bombers coughing
Nah,
baby.
that might have been a
This
little
game,
extreme.
th- this game will the Browns will cover the spread, and here's why. The spread right now is plus 7.5, plus
Yep,
8.
7.5.
It moved down. Um, and I have the Packers in my Survivor, which means it's going to be a heart attack game. So if you were betting on Packers -8 or -7.5, I'm sorry for you. That ain't happening. I'm begging for the Packers to win,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping on the back of their defense they can do something. But knowing me, it's not going to look so cute. Yeah. And I think this is going to be a game where it comes down to Jordan Love because that run defense of the Browns looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can bottle up Josh Jacobs, then Jordan
Who's
Love has to
who's
throw the football.
questionable, by the way? I think I'm gonna bench him
Yeah,
for Javonte Williams, honestly.
there you go.
But I'm gonna say two things. Jesus. Okay.
Sorry, you
Um,
made me yawn.
my fault. I'm gonna say two keys to this game. Actually, number one,
Let's hear it.
you said Jordan Love. I would argue that it comes to the other side and the Browns' pass rush. How uncomfortable can you make him? I would say Jordan Love, first 2 weeks of the season, did not deal with a ton of pressure in his face. They were not really the Lions were every now and then, but it wasn't constant pressure in his face. He was able to make his throws on timing and such and such. But I think the
Hmm.
Browns have a nice defensive line that can be very disruptive. They have a secondary that can hold receivers or cover receivers for an extra second and a half or just enough to let the pass rushers get home. So I think this defense could make Jordan Love uncomfortable. I think this is going to be a game where we have to see him play under pressure. Can he hold up this play that he's been giving us the first 2 weeks? If he can, then yeah, we can probably start to talk about Packers probably winning the Super Bowl. But this is going to be a test for him in my eyes. And then the other side of the ball, Packers defense. How much or what are you going to do against Joe Flacco? I'm a little scared for Joe Flacco in this game. We know the Packers get after the quarterbacks, and Joe Flacco's old. I actually see. I think we're going to see one of the rookie quarterbacks play this game, and not because of a blowout this time. So we'll see how one of them handles it. But yeah, I'm a little worried about Joe Flacco going up against this Packers defense. But yeah,
Same.
If Joe Flacco can hold his composure and play well, and Jordan Love can't, then Browns are going to win this game. That's all I'm going to say. Let's move on
I'm
to
scared. I'm scared.
our first 4 o'clock of the evening of the weekend. Broncos Chargers, like you alluded to earlier.
Give me the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to pull this one out. I want to say this is the game Amari and Hampton finally has a good game,
Oh
and they
God, I hope
finally get
so.
something going. But to be honest, this has been a little different Chargers. It's been Herbie kind of slinging the pigskin and making good passes and completions, which he does. But on the basis of their run off like first offense isn't so dominant to where he makes some good plays. So I'm still gonna take the Chargers and ride the hot hand on this one. Broncos defense has
Bad.
somewhat
Bad.
been okay,
No. Mm.
but it hasn't been great.
Let's put it
Hasn't
this
been the
way.
Broncos defense.
I drafted Broncos defense in 2 of my 3 fantasy leagues, and I dropped them both last week.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Bo Nix has
Abysmal.
been had some moments where he looks good and bad. It's just too shaky right now in Denver. I'm gonna take the consistency of the Chargers. Pull this one out.
I think the Chargers have that offensive identity of ground and pound, run the ball, throw it when necessary. Broncos are still trying to figure out what they are offensively. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the team that's been more consistent and the team that's gonna be at home. Give me the Chargers. Now, moving on, Seahawks Saints. This
Is
is in
this
Seattle.
coughing baby?
I don't want to say so because you got to remember the Saints almost beat the 49ers, and the 49ers
Correct.
barely beat the Seahawks.
But this is the 49ers did beat them in Seattle.
It's
But this is
true.
also in Seattle.
Yep.
Right? This is also my other survivor pick.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be down to the wire again. It's gonna be a heart attack, probably lose. And
I would take the Seahawks.
I would take the Seahawks here too, but something about JSN is making me feel a little happy, and I'm taking a little bit of good of Sam Darnold veterancy to finally pull it out. And guess what? Spencer Rattler is still winless as a starter. That's right, winless. I was gonna say win. I was trying to think of like undefeated, but without the defeat. But still winless is starting 0-10 now.
Yeah.
So
Something like
yeah, he just needs to figure it out. No Tyler Shaw yet. Give me the Seahawks.
Here's how many. I'm trying to think how many 2-0 matchups there are. Looks like there's only 2 this week. And this is our second one. One is going to be an NFC playoff preview for the most part. The other one, well, that's just going to be a fight to see if they can even make the playoffs. Cardinals, 49ers, both sitting at 2-0. And honestly, Brooks, both of these teams could very well be 0-2. So, who's winning this game?
49ers are winning this game. Okay, even with Mac Jones starting quarterback, 49ers win this football game. I still don't trust the Cardinals after last play against the Saints and almost letting the Carolina Panthers come back and beat them.
Yeah.
Both and at home as well. I'm going to take the 49ers in this game. Again, I think this game where Christian McCaffrey might have a big game, and he's been consistent the first 2 weeks. I like him to continue it, and I'm scared for the Cardinals after 2 shaky games against probably the two worst teams in the NFC South, but one of the probably 2 worst teams in the league.
There you go.
I'm gonna take the 49ers in Levi Stadium.
Yeah. Granted, Mac Jones is playing. Kyle Shanahan and him seem to be on the same page. I think they can get it done. But you're holding the 49ers for almost coming back, or the Cardinals for almost coming back on the Cardinals. The Saints almost came back against the 49ers. So I'm going to say that, and I'm actually not even going to pick a winner for this game because to me this game could go either way, honestly.
Wow. So, I'm going to take the Niners, though. I'm going to take the Niners.
And I'll take the Cardinals just to not agree. Cowboys, Bears. Now,
game of the week.
Your coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb. I don't know what it is about the Bears. Doesn't matter how many stars or great players they have on this team. They suck. They don't look good.
Give me the Chicago Bears in this game. Give me the Chicago Bears in this game.
No, I don't see how they lose. I don't see how the Cowboys lose this game, honestly.
I can tell you how. The worst secondary in the league is probably the Dallas Cowboys. That secondary is soft, right? You have Caleb Williams who can improvise, which Russell Wilson's a pretty good improviser and made some plays, right? Yeah. Right? Caleb Williams can do the same thing. Rome Odunza's been hot. You have a couple options you can go to. Colston Loveland. You got 2 tight ends set with Cole Kmet as well. Yes. I'm taking the Bears. taking the Bears.
They haven't proven anything to me this year. They probably
the Bears.
They should have beat the Vikings and they couldn't do it. They got annihilated by the Lions. Who again? I still think they're top team in the NFC, but a lot of people are not big on the Lions this year after that bad Green Bay loss. and henceforth are now much lower on the Bears because of that. Yeah, now like I said, I don't know how they do it. It doesn't matter if they like honestly, Brooks, if they drafted Patrick Mahomes, he would have been a journeyman probably at this point. They just find ways to suck and ruin people's careers. I don't get it, but yeah, I don't. And maybe they could win this game, but regardless, they're still a terrible team. I would expect the Cowboys to beat them. Now, our final Sunday game, because we're going to leave Monday night's game for next episode. Chiefs, Giants. To me, this is the best game of the week. You know why? Because we're going to get one question answered regardless. That is, question A, is the Chiefs dynasty over? If they lose this game, I'm calling it. That's all I'm going to say. Doesn't matter. You're the Kansas City Chiefs going up against one of the worst teams in the last decade. You got to beat them. And the other question that gets answered is this Giants team legit this year? Because they lost. They're 2-0. They didn't look great against the Commanders, but they looked pretty good against the Cowboys. Again, I still think this is an insane stat. Over his however long 13-year career, Russell Wilson statistically played the best quarter of football in his career last week. I think that's insane. Still, so can they sustain this? If they can, I mean, to me, if both teams played the way they did last week, Giants win this game. So,
give me the Kansas City Chiefs in this
There you
game.
go.
The defensive steps up. I think they're going to get it done. And again, we're still talking about the man who is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. I get it that he hasn't won the first 2 weeks, but give me the Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is going to be the game where the defense steps up. It's a good defensive line. It's a good secondary. You're going to see how Neighbors does because that is a high volume target. And I think this is the week that the Kansas City Chiefs break the schneid, they get on the board with a win. I have them covering the spread of 6.5 too. I think this is one where I see them win by 10 plus this game.
10 plus?
10
yeah,
plus.
That could happen. But I don't know. I'm worried about Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you saw these first 2 weeks. He's not getting a lot of receiving help. So he's got to extend plays. He's got to do a lot of the work himself by either getting out of the pocket or extend plays, but he's going up against arguably the best defensive line in football right now. So, I mean, if they can contain him and make his life hell, their offense isn't going to get going. I mean, they could. I mean, like you said, the Chiefs could win by 10. They could win by 20. But I see a bizarre, wacky scenario that they only score like 6 points. So
I disagree. I think this is the Chiefs' game to lose, and I think Mahomes is going to get it done. Who has a big game? Is this the Hollywood Brown game? It's going to be the Hollywood Brown game.
Didn't he get injured last game?
Did he get injured? I thought he didn't.
He might have come back, but he got injured. I know that.
I'm pretty sure he came back.
He probably came back, but I know he got injured.
Man.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, he did get hurt, but he's going to play.
Okay, that's good.
Give me him. Give me somebody to break out that's a receiver. So not Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson. That's who's breaking out.
He's not on the Chiefs.
Exactly.
That's a horrible take.
He's on the Giants.
I know, it's a horrible take.
Russell Wilson's
on the Chiefs.
Wilson's throwing for 350 again.
Tyquan Thornton. There you go, Tyquan Thornton. He's gonna have a big game.
All right. Well, this is your time for the favorite part of your day.
Uh-oh. What is it, Baron?
I'm not barking, so if you want to do it.
Oh. Let's round this out with Dog of the Day, brought to you by no one, where we pick the biggest underdogs, or just underdogs in general, to win and get points. Baron, do you want to update the people on the scoreboard?
We're both still 0-0.
We're both still 0-0. Usually we have something on the board. So we're both 0-0. Baron, do you want to
You're
take the
still
first
going
ring?
first. Nope.
The thing is I don't like a lot of these underdogs.
I know. I'm
It's
taking.
kind of funny. but I'm gonna take. I can take that one. You know what? Give me the New England Patriots to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I almost wanted to
Just give me the
ban that
2
one
points.
again, but whatever.
Give
No,
me the
you can
2 points.
you can
We
take that.
can
That's fine.
we
That's
can
fine.
ban that. We can
No, no,
ban
no. You
that
can have
one.
that one.
We
That's
can ban
fine.
that
That
one.
won't matter. It's not gonna matter. This is a lock.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, you're a big believer in Marcus Mariota, but I don't think you watched him play for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm gonna take the Raiders to upset the Commanders. Jane Daniels doesn't play. I don't see that offense getting going. Period. It's probably just gonna be a lot of screen passes and wide receiver handoffs to Deebo Samuel, and some out passes to whatever the running back's name is. What did they call him? Bill? Is that the nickname? Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Raiders are gonna go. But before we end off, and I saw someone talking about this. Everyone's talking about this. Oh, Ashton Genty's a bust. Ashton Genty's not good.
They're box score
Exactly.
watchers.
Let's calm down. Watch some football games. If you watch any Raiders film this year, you would see that their offensive line is bottom 5 in football and has no idea what a run block is. So yeah, I mean, he's not going to be good when he's getting hit in the backfield 8 out of 10 plays. It's remarkable that he even gains yards in those plays. If anything, that just shows how great he is. That he gets hit by 2 guys, NFL guys in the backfield, breaks those tackles, and still gains like 2 or 3 yards. But what this should be a warning, or not a warning, this should just be Exhibit A for all NFL owners. This is why we don't draft running backs when you don't have offensive line. You always build your offensive line first. You look at any great team in the NFL throughout history, period. That's what they do. They build their offensive line and their defensive line, and then they build around that. I mean, I know, again, it sounds like a homer, but this is the best example I can think of. Eagles had a great offensive line, made Miles Sanders look like a all-pro. I mean, he made almost, or I think he was not a two-time, but he was almost on the all-pro one year. They made Devontae Swift look like an amazing running back. He got a big bag from the Bears, and now he can't put up that much success. When you have an offensive line like that, then you go out and get an elite running back like Saquon Barkley, and then that results in what happens last year. The Raiders saw that, and this is my thinking, but I know this is what a lot of other people assume as well. The Raiders saw the success of Saquon Barkley, saw the elite raw prospect and talent of Ashton Genty coming out of college, and say, hey, we want to recreate that. Ashton Genty might be more talented than Saquon Barkley ever was, but no one's ever going to fucking know it unless you build a good offensive line that can actually block for them. So, yeah, that's my rant for the episode. For all aspiring NFL GMs out there listening, build your offensive line first. You can only get away with a bad offensive line in Madden. That doesn't work in real life.
Anyways, I agree. Genty looks pretty good. Just needs some blockers. That'll be another episode of Nothing Agreed. Thank y'all for listening. Who's y'all's dog of the day? Let's know who your underdogs are. Thank you so much for listening, and